5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815.
Oh, Tom. If the robots take over everything, if they take over the world and the internet, CAPTCHA is going to be used in the exact opposite way as it's used right now. I'm Greg. He's Tom. This is your In Crowd 815 podcast for the first day of March, the year 2025.
The latest it's ever been in the history of mankind.
Are you fearing the takeover of the world by the robots? And
I can't conceptualize any of that. I really can't.
you come on, you watched the Terminator movie. You know what's going to happen.
I did not. I'm not a movie guy. I'm not a movie guy. I haven't watched a lot of movies.
Okay.
All of the important. Okay, Star Wars, no. E.T., no. Name a movie, an iconic movie. And I'll bet I haven't watched it outside of Dumb and Dumber, Back to the Future, greatest movie of all time, in my opinion. But those types of movies, Terminator, no.
In the last couple weeks, we've been kind of going back to some of the classic '80s movies. War Games with Matthew Broderick.
Nope.
Terminator 1, Terminator 2.
Nope.
What was the other '80s movie we watched recently? We watched a handful of them over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, there's like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but and obviously I watched that many, many times. I love that movie. But any movie that has to do with war, fighting, anything like that. And I did see Private Ryan, Saving Private Ryan. I saw Platoon. I'm still scarred by that one. No.
Yeah.
But I'm not a movie guy. I just don't. I've never seen a whole lot of movies. Whenever we do trivia, I opt out when it comes to like the movies or whatever.
You do.
I just am not your guy for movies.
Okay.
Anything else I'm okay with.
Note to self, forming a trivia team with Tom and as one of your players, he's not going to be your movie guy. Sports, music, he's your guy.
A little more than that, but yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple of other categories I'm pretty good at. So
crazy deep math equations. He's all about that stuff too.
Oh no. No. In fact, here's a really funny story to get us started here. Right. I told you in the pregame warm-ups, as we were practicing our throws and catches and all that.
Yeah.
I was subbing at Rock County Christian School, which, by the way, is a wonderful, wonderful school. I was subbing for the last couple of days, Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Why is that so difficult to say? And we got to the math. I'm like, okay, kids, and these are fifth graders. I felt like one of those contestants on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? All right. The math problem was Sally bought 1 1/3 pounds of peaches at 68 cents per pound. And she bought such and such bananas, 2.5 pounds of bananas at 49 cents a pound, and blah, 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 blah. I'm up there. I haven't done this kind of math in years. I know how to do simple addition, simple subtraction, fractions. But I got troubled on the 1 1/3 peaches. I'm like, okay, is it 33? Is it 34? I mean, and my answer came out 1 cent or 2 cents other than what some of the kids came out. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, here was our problem. And I'm looking at the answer in the answer key, and I'm noticing I'm a penny off or 2 pennies off or whatever. I'm like, well, I know why, but I didn't know how to go back and rectify that. It wasn't registering. And there happened to be another teacher who had walked in at that point, but we figured it out. I got it. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. It was good. It was good. I just needed a slight little refresher course. So next time I teach those fifth graders, doggone it, I'm going over my math stuff.
Teaching math under the gun with eyeballs watching you. That's
and kids who are doing this every single day, they do math for 45 minutes. So their brains are right, just like Whitney was saying, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. She said she's not real good with trivia. Everybody says it, so I'm not really calling her out. Everybody says it. I know Whitney is very smart.
Every
We
one of our
all know
guests,
that.
every one of our guests says the same thing.
Every one of our guests says the same things, and they always knock it out of the park. And Whitney, we all know Whitney's very, very smart. She will do just fine with trivia. But it's one of those things where if it's not top of mind right then and there, you're like, oh crap, I can't remember that. And then you feel bad. You feel like, oh, I'm an idiot. No. That's why I didn't like the show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Because you're not. You are smarter than a fifth grader, because most of us who went to college,
you've got 30, 40, 50 years of experience in life. So
that's right. That's right.
It's in there somewhere.
Recalling it somehow, some way. So I apologize, Whitney, if I called you out or anything like that. I'm so sorry. Did not mean to, but to make it a point.
She just shut her camera off. She left the stage.
Yeah,
she's done.
Oh, we got the text. It says, "You guys suck. We're done."
I'm gonna bail out of Tom here so we can save the show. Hold on. Here we go. Our current race to 10 has Tom out in the lead by a score of 1-0.
Yes.
I destroyed him the last round of 10, race to 10.
Yeah, sure. Rub it in here. Pour a little more salt on that wound. Go ahead. A little
salt for you. Our big number of the week this week is 3.6 billion. That is with a B. And the answer this week is feline or factory.
Meow.
Feline or factory. Put your guess in the comments, and I encourage you again, Google search, AI search, Bing search, whatever you're, look up in your MySpace. You can try to find a recent story that included 3.6 billion in the story, and see if it has something to do with felines or factories, and go for it. I want to know if you can find it.
Send it to you already.
All right, Tom's already texted me his.
See, I don't take you up on the go ahead and look it up. First of all, we're on the show and I can't really. But secondly, I like to just guess it. It's a 50-50 every week,
It is. And that's what it is. But one of the things that I use every week is something called The Hustle. And it's a great newsletter that I get daily that I see things. It gives me articles on things that are trends. And I use it sometimes to find good stock tips, because this company's doing that. Hey, I'm going to check into that company and maybe buy some stock. It's a cool thing. Maybe I'll put it in the chat again today if I can find the link to Hustle and throw it out there. That's one of the places. That's not the only place. That's one of the places I get big numbers every week. So anywho, we have guests to bring on. So let's bring on our first guest. And the DBN Foundation is out of Rockton, Illinois. You ever been to Rockton, Tom?
Many, many times. Yeah.
It's a nice little town here in Northern Illinois. And for those listening outside of the state, you need to come visit Rockton. And Matt's on the line with us here today. Matt, welcome to the In Crowd 815 podcast. How you doing, buddy?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We want to get to know you a little bit here first. So we're going to put you on.
Are you sure about that? It's complicated.
We are all complicated. We are all very complicated.
We need help with our computers. Can you help us?
As you know, in the 5 minutes I've known you, no. The answer is emphatically no. I'm just happy I figured out how to get on here. So
you are doing this perfect.
Life's good already.
You're on the screen. You're visible. One of the instructions we give all our guests is, look, you just got to make sure there's more light in front of you than behind you, because otherwise it don't work. It just doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. So all things Matt. Let's start with all things Matt. Where did you grow up and go to school, and little mini career arc? What led you to where you are today? So what were your schools?
So I was, born in Rockford at St. Anthony, and grew up in Rockton. Great place to grow up. It was one of those towns where, you kind of left at 8 a.m. and you came home at night, and your parents didn't have to worry about you, kind of place. And, I like to joke that back in the day, Rockton, growing up in the streets of Rockton was survival. Anything west of Blackhawk Boulevard, it was pretty rough. And that's where I lived. And I joke, but it was a great time to grow up. back in the late 70s and 80s and whatnot. And went to Hononegah High School, School of Champions. I'm just going to throw that out there.
School of Champions.
School of Champions, where winners are born and bred, and graduated in 1991. That's a long time ago.
Hello.
Right. And, went to college and moved to Chicago for a while and did the whole, single living in Chicago thing, and moved back here after I got married. And I've been here or back here about 20 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. It's been an interesting journey. Let's just say that.
Okay. So your Hononegah years, involved in any activities, sports, groups? What was your thing?
I played baseball for a couple of years, and then I think I kind of realized that I wasn't really gonna make it to the major leagues. So I got out of that, and I think I concentrated more on the social aspect of high school.
Okay.
We'll keep it the G version, probably.
All
Good for
right.
you.
Did you work during high school? Did you get a job at one of the local Rockton places there?
I worked. My dad actually had a business that I worked at every summer, and then sometimes after school, but mainly in the summers, and built up some cash reserves, so to speak, for the year. And I didn't work anywhere else but there until after I got out of college, basically.
Okay.
So, and it was not fun. It was one of those jobs where you were there because he wanted to treat or give you an example of what you don't want to do in life. And I hated it. It was, I had to be up at 5 a.m. and, in the summer you're out with your friends and having fun, and 5 a.m. comes pretty quick. And depending on what you were doing the night before, you probably weren't feeling the best. And
Working 8 hours after 2 hours of sleep, not the easiest thing.
No, it's not. And you look back now, and it's just like, how in the heck did I do that? It's mind blowing. And it was
young, tough bodies.
Right. And it was 110 degrees in the shop every day in the summer. So you were sweating out the night before on a daily basis almost. So
can we ask what kind of shop it was? What kind of stuff it was making?
It was a foundry. So if you're familiar with a foundry, I mean, it is dirty and nasty, and they make different parts for all sorts of like big equipment companies like Caterpillar, John Deere, and other smaller companies. But literally, you are in there, and they're like pouring the hot molten steel into these molds that I was making, and it was horrible. It was not fun. That's for sure.
I worked in some hot places in summer times, but nothing like, there was one place I worked at, and thankfully I was working overnights, but we also heat treated some stuff, and I worked in something called a pickle house, where metal was dipped into acids and treated, and I was in charge of keeping the acid at the right level, the pH level and such. That was my job, a titration officer. Oh, that was fun.
Did you get to sample any of the pickles?
Oh gosh, if only. Family, tell us about your family and that sort of stuff here, and what led to this creation of the DBN Foundation.
Well, my mom still lives in Rockton, same house I grew up in. My sister, she lives out in Elgin with her husband, and then I've got 4 kids ranging from 24 to 8, and we're having a good time. Everybody's happy and healthy and whatnot. And as far as the foundation goes, we started this. It will be 5 years this July, and the idea was actually formed probably about 7-8 years ago. We were out on the golf course, having a few adult beverages, and we're like, you know what? We need to start a foundation to honor Craig and Patrick. And these are 2 people that we grew up with in Rockton, and they passed away, unfortunately, way, way too early. And, we said, hey, let's really do something. And, that talk kind of ended for a couple of years, and then finally a few of us got together and decided that we're actually going to form a non-for-profit. And the name, the Don't Be Next Foundation, it's basically a play on words of, hey, don't be the next one to pass away from the group, because nobody wants to be next. And if you know us, we have very dark humor, and we're very sarcastic. And if you're in our group, you better not be the weak one in the group, because you're gonna get a lot of crap.
That's what toughens you up, right? This world's a tough place.
Right. And it's funny, because when you're out in a crowd that, the people that you don't know, and you're talking to your buddies, and they kind of look over, they're like, how can you talk to people like that? And that's just the way we are. I mean, we are mean-spirited, but loving at the same time. And it's a great group. We've literally known each other since kindergarten at the Rockton grade school. So we started that, like I said, 5 years ago, and we do a golf outing every year. This year's Saturday, July 19th, out at the links in Winnebago. And that's our sole fundraiser every year. Okay. And our biggest distribution of funds, so to speak, is the Craig Weaver and Patrick Insko Memorial Scholarships. And that's given to two worthy Hananiga students every year at awards night, which is I believe May 15th this year. So $5,000 to each one of the recipients. And I've been told that those are the largest scholarships ever given in Hananiga's 100+ year history. So that makes us feel pretty good that, a bunch of ne'er-do-wells can do something good for the community after we've taken so much back in our day at Hananiga. But it's fun, and we've given to many organizations throughout the 815, and it puts a smile on your face when you're giving out checks and you're actually making a difference to some people, whether it's the scholarship night or giving money to knock out Parkinson's or the autism center. We've done a lot of good things, and it's fun, and we're looking forward to another great golf outing this year.
Nice. So the students that are chosen to receive these scholarships, are they pledging to go into some sort of certain industry or service or something like that? What's the qualifications for someone to apply for the scholarship?
So there's two like categories, if you will, and the Craig Weaver Scholarship goes to somebody that's involved in either basketball, golf, or baseball, because those are three things that Craig was involved in. And the Patrick Insko Scholarship goes to somebody that's in the music or fine arts, because he was probably one of the most gifted artists out there, whether it was guitar, piano. I mean, it was truly amazing. So they go through an application process, and then those are submitted to our scholarship committee, and then the scholarship committee makes recommendations, and then we do the final approval as the board. So there is a process to that, and we always highly encourage for all the Hananiga people that are listening and watching to make sure you get your applications in as early as possible. That way we've got a wide variety of people to look at.
Nice. So these I don't, we didn't ask beforehand, so I don't know the stories behind Craig and Patrick. Is there kind of a nutshell story that you share about each of these guys to kind of talk about their lives and what they meant to your group and such? Is what is your public forward facing stories about the gentlemen that you named these scholarships after?
Well, the main thing that we're trying to help people out with, and I shouldn't say main thing, but two of the most important things to us are mental health and supporting the youth throughout the community. And there were some issues as far as mental health, and we want to make sure that people are aware of that. And unfortunately, there was problems and they weren't addressed, and Craig took his own life, and Patrick actually passed away from a rare form of cancer at 43. So that really kind of hits home with us, and we want to make sure that there's an awareness out there for both things, but especially mental health among younger people.
Absolutely. So does your foundation team up or collaborate with any other local not-for-profits or businesses or such that to kind of further your cause? Is there some collaboration and cooperation going on between what you guys do and other services?
Not really. I mean, we've tried to get things on their feet, so to speak, in the last 4 or 5 years. And then there's been talk about that in the last couple of board meetings. But we haven't really collaborated with other non-for-profits within the area, and we're always open to that. That's for sure. But what we try to focus on is making sure that we're getting the golf outing done right, the most efficient way to do it, and raise as much money as possible. But yeah, we're always open to great ideas from different organizations within the community.
It's interesting. Raising money is what you need to do, because then you can give scholarships, you can give financial help for somebody. But raising awareness is the real key here, because more people need to understand that your neighbor, your best friend, your brother, your sister, they may have something going on that you may not know about. But if you're aware of the signs, if you're aware of what to look for, now you can lend a hand and say, hey, is there anything you want to talk about? And if there's a trust factor there, which will be in your best friend and your sister and your brother, then you can get the ball rolling. So raising awareness is a big part of this, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, especially nowadays with social media being so prevalent, I mean, kids nowadays they're stressed and they're anxious, and
Yep.
It's a whole different kind of stress than we've ever experienced in our.
Oh, goodness.
Right.
Yes.
It's always trying to keep up with the next person that's happy, and they're on vacation and they're posing next to their new car, and this, I mean, that's not reality, right? I mean, it looks good, but the thing is, a lot of kids are seeing that as like, why I don't have that, why I'm not good enough, what's going on here? And to me, that's the scariest part, really, is that people, and it's not just young kids, it's people of all ages. They get stressed out because they're not where these other people supposedly are on social media. And that's unfortunate, because let's be honest, I mean, that what you see on social media isn't reality.
No, that's one of the things that we can't say. We grew up with parents who could say, oh, I was so tough when I was growing up, and I had to go uphill both ways to school, right, and snow and all that stuff. And yeah, sure, we had some things that were tougher when we were growing up too. But our kids and our now grandkids, some of us, are experiencing a world in such a different way that you've got to be mentally prepared for it. There's a different level of mental preparedness, like you say, the social media comparison life. It's something different than we ever really went through. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, God's a big God. I don't know that our brains were really created to have this much information at our fingertips all at once. And comparison.
It's information overload. I mean, as far as, I don't want to sound like that get off my lawn kind of guy, but right. I mean, times were much simpler back then. Sure, there was problems and whatnot, but now everything seems to be magnified in real time, and it just doesn't seem like a healthy place to be when you're staring at your phone or your iPad or your computer all the time and seeing all these people do quote unquote great things or doing great things, and you're sitting in your living room saying to yourself, well, why am I not doing that? I mean, that's it's not a healthy place to be, as far as I'm concerned.
It's a different world to be prepared for, and we're still managing it, because I mean, we all grew up in an era where our phones were tethered to a wall, and then all of a sudden now we can walk all over the planet and still communicate with everybody. So,
Right.
well, before we move on and bring on our next guest and such, is there anything that we didn't ask you about today that you want to make sure that we cover before we move forward?
No, I think we covered a lot of good stuff in the time that we had. The only thing that I will say is that when you get a couple minutes, check out don'tbenext.org. And the website you're highlighting right now is a little bit about us and what we do and what we've done and whatnot. And make a donation. Every little bit helps. And like I said, we've done a lot of great things throughout the community, and we've got some things listed on there that we've done. And don't show that ugly guy, Paul Jensen. we don't want to.
We're giving some shout outs.
Right.
Paul and Matt and Gary.
Right. Supermodels. They're all supermodels.
And Brady, look at this guy.
Right.
Oh, he went to Arizona. Oh, I forget him. He's out of here.
Yeah, he lives out in Arizona, so he's been out there a long time. And Tom lives down in Springfield, and we actually have another board member that's just joined us about 6-8 months ago. He's not on there, Rich Foster. Rich does an amazing job. He's actually on, I think, 3 or 4 other boards. Marshmallow Hope is one of them, and the State Club he's part of. So he was a great addition to the board, and we're happy to have him on. But yeah, just check us out, and feel free to make a donation. And like I said, we're always open to different ideas and possibilities. So if anybody wants to reach out to collaborate and talk about different ideas, we'd be happy to talk.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Matt. We put in the chat, by the way, the links to the website and the Facebook page. And when I say we put that in the chat, it goes directly to our Facebook In Crowd 815 podcast page. It goes to our YouTube channel and our new Rumble channel. So that's where those go. It doesn't go to Instagram. It doesn't go to X. And it doesn't go to my personal Facebook page, which also is web streaming this at the same time. So it's going to some of the platforms, not all the platforms, in case you're wondering, wait a minute, I don't see that link. It's because you're on one of the platforms that Restream doesn't currently automatically send this information to. So
you're talking way above my pay grade here. You're talking a lot of tech stuff.
It went over your head and took some off the top as it went by.
Right. A little bit.
Let me be full disclosure, complete honesty. I am swimming in water. I can't touch the bottom myself. So I'm not, I'm hoping for the best that this is working. And so far, I just started. I'm going to bring Whitney on here now because Whitney's ready and standing by, and we're going to be doing some trivia with Tom here in a minute. But while we bring you on here, Whitney Martin, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There you go. Thank you.
I know mine doesn't look like that. So I think it's like a water jug being held up here. So
I'm going to put you at the top of the screen. There we go. So when we started this show, it was a radio show on WROK. We were on from 2013 till 2020 Saturday mornings. We started out as a 2-hour show, and then they sold an hour, so we had to reduce it to a 1-hour show. But we had a great time doing current events, today's weather, what's happening this weekend. Thanks to the GoRockford.com website, we use that as a resource all the time. And basically for 7.5 years, it was all about the now. Here's what's happening in Rockford and how you can support local not-for-profits, their fundraising events, and all that stuff. When COVID furloughed all the weekend talent from the radio station, and I think we're still technically furloughed, Tom. They could call us back at any day. That was almost 5 years ago. But we took the show immediately over to Facebook and went to Facebook Live just so that people knew we were still going to be doing this, right?
Well, we were assuming we were going to go back in 3 months, 6 months. So we'll do it for 3 or 4 months, 5 months, and then go back to our old gig on radio. Still waiting. They have wait, maybe. Oh, nope, it's a telemarketer. Sorry.
Speaking of technology, Matt, we were using the Zoom platform to just be on Facebook Live. And I downloaded, because Facebook recently sent a notice to all Facebook Live creators and such that starting in the next few weeks, any live video that's more than 30 days old, they're going to delete it off the platform because they're running out of data space. You know, the world is limited. Who knew? So anyway, I went back and I've downloaded like the first 6 or 7 or 8 episodes because they were so bad. They were so bad. And the technology was clunky and everything else. All that to say this, what we are today is basically 4.5, 5 years of, okay, how can we make it a little bit better? And a couple of years ago is when we really finally figured out our focus, which is the Rockford area not-for-profits and the businesses that support them. And because we're a podcast that does live podcast, we do live broadcasting to record the podcast. That's what makes us unique in the 815 and most of the country. Most podcasts don't do what we're doing right now.
This is live.
This is live.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
This is live on 8 different spots right now. 8
Really?
different
No
channels.
pressure.
No pressure. And there might be 2 or 3 or 4 people actually watching right now. Okay.
Well, my family doesn't count, so go ahead.
Yeah. Grandma, are you still tuned in? Yeah, she is.
And
also, we are the only one with 815 in the name.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, the only 815 area code. There can only be one.
The only in-crowd 815, that's for sure.
I suppose somebody with
779.
somebody with August 15th birthdays could probably have their own podcast.
So when this is all done, when we've done the live portion of this, it gets downloaded and then been uploaded to Spotify. So that's where the home of the podcast resides. And it took me quite a while to transition my brain from we're live on the air, we should be talking about today's weather and the events this weekend, and shift that to we're a podcast. We should be talking about what's happening 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks down the line, not what's happening just this weekend, because most of our viewers and listeners aren't going to be listening at a time where they can go, oh, we're going to that tonight. So just so you know, Matt and Whitney, where we are, it's taken us a long time to get here. And I know we're still trying to improve things. We just recently added Rumble as a platform. Sometimes YouTube flags our stuff because something that sounds like a piece of music that we might not own gets played and they shut it down.
Or I made an inappropriate comment. Who did?
Gotta put you on a 5-second delay.
There you go. Or 5-day delay or something.
Yeah.
we have that at the radio station. We don't have that here.
Yeah.
So all that to say, we really appreciate everybody who's been supporting what we've been doing. And we're very similar to you, Matt. Our focus is to support other not-for-profits. And we don't give scholarships, but we want to help organizations like yours raise more money so that you can give more and bigger and better scholarships. So our next big event, which Whitney is going to be a celebrity judge at, is our Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest coming up on April 17th. This time around, we have openings for 12 teams to play for a $2,000 grand prize for their not-for-profit. Most of the teams that participated in our last Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest were supported and sponsored by a local business. So if there's a business that wants to support you and sponsor your team for $320, you get 16 people at the event. We're going to be at the Hilton Garden Inn on Thursday night, April 17th. And those 16 seats include 2 things: the 8 people that sit at your table and play the contest, and the 8 people in the audience who will be eating snacks, playing trivia along for the fun of it, and cheering you on when it comes time to sing karaoke, because a big part of the scoring is audience reaction to your song. So we're doing that all again coming up April 17th, and we do still have some openings, although we're filling up fast. We're really excited about what this event is going to turn into, and the bigger, better, the bigger venues that we're going to need to bring more people in to see what's going on, because this is going to be like attending a taping of a TV game show. I mean, that's kind of what the whole premise is of this thing. And this next event's winner is going to win $2,000 for not-for-profit. Second place is going to win $500, and then there'll be a karaoke bonus prize, cash prize given out as well. So plan now to plug in. For those of you listening for the first time going, what? This is a lot of fun. And your whole team does not have to sing. At least one person on your team needs to sing.
You need the ringer. You need the one
need-
that knows.
That's
The
right.
singer ringer. Yeah, we need a singer. You need a singer ringer, and then a bunch of trivia people.
And I heard that Whitney has made herself available to be that ringer on your team.
You know.
So give her a call.
Then we would.
I
Tom,
sing not well, but I'll do it.
All right.
we would lose her as a. I almost lost one of my judges because of that this time. So don't
Because we
bring
want to
that up.
participate. We want to be involved. It's
Exactly.
a really great event.
That's right.
Yeah.
It would be kind of a conflict of interest if you were singing and judging.
Yeah, you don't want me to sing. Everybody would leave. So
I would be available as somebody's ringer because rumor has it I do a mean Neil Diamond. Sweet Caroline. I mean, I can't confirm or deny those rumors, but you know, ask around. Just ask around.
Awesome.
Sweet Caroline.
All right. We've got.
You know what? That would be awesome because you would get the entire crowd going ba ba ba.
Well, when you're doing karaoke, that's part of the you want crowd participation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
now, are
Just
you
so you know, Matt.
I'm sorry. What I got?
She said, "Are you participating?"
Not as of yet. But
Well, there's time to jump on board. Come on,
Yep.
come on.
Get your
Money where your mouth is.
I don't know.
By the way,
I don't know if I know 8 smart people though.
That's all
You
right.
only need to know 7. Your singer
My
can be
list is very limited on the smart people.
By the way, just so you know, karaoke is Japanese for tone deaf. All right, I'm just putting that out there.
Here's the good news, Matt. You only need 6 or 7 smart people. Your singers, they can be dumb.
Oh well,
That's
then
right.
I got plenty of those. Plenty of those.
All right, hey, let's do this. All right, Tom's got some trivia for us this morning.
Still hate that.
And all right, what do you got for us, Tom?
All right, it's time for trivia. Here we go. Everybody, put your thinking caps on. Let's go.
I should tell you guys in the background, I'm watching my 6-year-old grab candy from the candy dish because he knows I can't say anything.
Ooh, I like it.
So if you
He's a
see me,
thinker.
I'm going like this under the table.
Sawyer, save me a Kit Kat, buddy. Save me the Kit Kat.
Yeah,
Got
Greg's favorite
100
candy
grand
bar
bar
is a
from the
Kit
home
Kat.
show in the bag.
Oh wow, that's
100
cool.
grand bar. They still make those?
Apparently.
They do.
Those are the
They
never
do.
ending. They sit in your mouth for like 6 hours.
Well, great. It'll keep them occupied for the next.
Oh no,
week.
no! You put them in your pocket for like a half an hour. It makes them nice and warm and chewy. I am the candy bar aficionado. Trust me, I know. Yeah. All right, are we ready? All right, I've chosen 7 questions. You're up against a team who did we have? Gregors, did we have one a couple of weeks ago that knocked them all out, or have we not had a perfect score yet?
I think we had 6 or 7 correct a couple of weeks ago.
Well, 6 or 7 is the difference between yes, you knocked it out of the park and scored them all, or not. I think you needed help on one, so
Yes.
we're gonna go. So we're still open.
Question: are we all on a team?
You're all on a team.
Oh, relief.
The 3 of us?
Yeah.
How are we doing?
Just the 3 of you.
All right, you're gonna have to
You
hear
can
this, guys.
make it if you try. All right, here we go. Oh, we're gonna get flagged for that, aren't we? All right, here we go. Here we go. States, United States. Question number 1. Drum roll, please. No, I'm kidding. Which U.S. state has a higher population? Is it New Hampshire or Vermont? Once again, which U.S. state has a higher population? Is it New Hampshire or Vermont?
I want to say New Hampshire has a bigger city than Vermont, but
Mount Peeler, right? Is that New Hampshire? Or is that Vermont?
That's Vermont. That's actually the capital.
Right.
This is a really good question, Tom.
Is anyone confident within our group here?
Obviously not, since nobody said it right away.
Struggle. All right, guys.
Vermont.
What do you think?
I'm thinking Vermont, but
Me too.
Let's lean toward Vermont, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so New Hampshire has 1.4 million people. Vermont has 648,493.
All right, so no perfect score for us today.
No,
We're
it's
killing
all right.
it.
It's all right. All right, here we go. This is birthdays. This should be an easy one. Maybe. I don't know. Actor Sean Astin recently had a birthday. He starred in many movies such as Rudy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And he is the son of John Astin, star of the Addams Family. So, was Sean Astin born before or after the Addams Family first aired? I know there's a lot going on in there.
Television show?
The television show.
I was before or after the original black and white Addams? I would say after.
I would say after.
After would be correct.
Yeah.
Because he was born in 71. The show debuted in 64. All right. Any Scrabble players?
There we go.
Oh, look
Kit
at
Kat
that.
for you all.
You know my address. Send it to me. Kit Kat. What, is that a Kit Kat too?
No, that's the 100 grand. I don't know what we're into now.
Oh, well, all I have are these green apple sticks. Green apple sticks.
Yeah, we had
These
some of those in the office. Yep.
I'm gonna try one after the show. I can't really.
I'm gonna have my cookout now.
I didn't know we were allowed to bring snacks on the show.
You are. It's like kindergarten here.
Am I fishing for a Kit Kat sponsorship for this podcast? Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm fishing for a green apple sponsorship. Or just more green apple sticks, and I got a whole bunch right here.
When I do my podcast, I enjoy a delicious Kit Kat.
Oh, we've already got a spokesperson now. Wow, nice. All right, here we go. In Scrabble, how many points is the letter V worth? Is it? I'm not going to give you options. No, I will. Is it 4 or is it 5? Once again, how many points is the letter V, V as in Victor, is it worth? 4 or 5?
I would say 4.
If you can stall him, I've got a Scrabble thing out
downstairs. Yeah, we've all got a Scrabble thing right here. That's not accessible. It's not acceptable. I would probably quit while you were ahead, but it's just me.
I say 4 only because there are many words you could spell with the V. You don't deserve the 5 ranking with the V.
Okay.
And I would quit while you were ahead on this one.
4. All right.
Everybody in agreement with 4?
With 4.
I don't play Scrabble.
Yeah! 4 it is. 4 it is. You guys are 2 and 1. Nicely done. Look, you can ace the rest of it and be the top scorer that we've had so far. So here we go. Here we go. Oscars. Hattie McDaniel became the first African-American woman to win an Oscar. Name the film for which she won the Oscar.
It's Gone with the Wind, right?
What do you say, Whitney? What do you say, Matt?
I've seen 3 movies my whole life.
I'm going to defer to Greg on this. He sounds pretty sure.
And he is exactly correct.
Great.
He is correct. All right. Yes. Here we go. Here's some periodic table stuff for you. It's simplified. Don't worry. It's good. It's good. All right. This is atomic number 3. Atomic number 3 on the periodic table, and is an essential component of batteries. It's often used to store harvested solar energy. What is this element? This is at atomic number 3, and it is an essential component of batteries. It's often used to store harvested solar energy. And if you need one hint, I'm going to give you one hint.
It's pH something, right? Ferrous something? Ferrous? Phosphorus?
Think of batteries. What kind of batteries are there?
Alkaline?
Lithium.
I'm going to give you one hint that you will no longer need. Kurt Cobain. Nirvana. What was one of their songs? You got it. It's lithium.
It's lithium.
Okay. You got it. Whitney got it.
Nirvana did a song called Lithium?
Wow. It was either their album or a song. I think it was a song.
Okay.
I got a great periodic tables joke if you want to hear it. Real quick.
I want to hear it.
Okay. So I'm walking down the street. I'm minding my own business, and a guy runs up to me and he grabs my watch, and I say, "Hey, you! Give me back my gold watch."
Oh, I love it, Orem. I love it. Very good.
Never forgets. Never forgets. The gold standard of all jokes.
And then he said, "Hi-yo, Silver," and he ran off.
I don't remember that part, but
oh, okay. Well, guess what? Round 2, done. Ow!
All right.
That one got me in the back of the neck. I'm going to stop that. I think I got a paper cut. I'm gonna have to leave for a little bit. Medic.
Medic.
Yeah. I need a Kit Kat and a 100 grand bar.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here we go. This is a really odd and weird question. You should know it though. All right, the brothers Grimm were famous for their folk tales. Their names were Jacob and this Grimm. Jacob and blank Grimm. What was the other brother's name?
Was it Russell?
Jacob Grimm.
Once you start to fish around the answer, so obviously, Matt, your answer was not correct, but once you start to fish around it, I will kind of lead you. So I'm giving you, good opportunities here. I will say it's a good German name.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to give you. I'm gonna have to give you.
Wilhelm.
Wilhelm is it? That's it.
Oh, nice job.
Who Googled it? I'm kidding.
Nice.
Very good. Done.
Nice.
Get away from me. All right, here we go. We have 2 left. You guys are kicking some butt. Kicking some serious butt here. All right, here we go. What color is Manhattan clam chowder?
It's white.
Manhattan clam chowder. Manhattan clam chowder.
Or is it red? White or red?
I don't know. I can't say I've ever had Manhattan clam
yeah.
chowder. Most clam chowders are white, right? Is it a pink? Is it like a pink color? Is it something fancy, New York?
I think the answer may have been said already.
So white or red? It's probably
I'm
red.
going to go with red. Yes.
All right.
Yes,
red.
All right.
Matt's carrying us right now.
You guys are 6.
My back is starting to hurt.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't come on here to do the heavy lifting.
I got injured too. I got a paper cut, but that was my own fault.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
True.
All right, here we go. Final question. This is to tie the top score ever.
Come on.
Here you go. And you guys, 6 and 1 is the best score we've had.
That
All right,
Vermont
this one here
is going to kill me the rest of the day. But anyway,
you'll never forget it.
I won't.
Forget it. And you're also going to remember that Montpelier is the capital of Vermont. Yeah. All right. Here we go. This is a movie question. What is the name of the bar? Well, kind of the bar franchise where the bartenders dance on the counters. It was popularized in a film.
Coyote Ugly.
Yeah.
Coyote Ugly is correct.
Coyote Ugly.
All right, folks.
Ira Banks should have got an Academy Award for that.
Oh, the smile.
I didn't see it. Never saw it.
It's underrated. It's underrated.
I'm afraid of coyotes. They scare me. So. Plus, they're ugly. So
these are not.
These are not. These are not.
You're right.
Well,
You're right.
We did all right. I appreciate you, Matt, being on with us today. And we look forward to hearing from you in the future and the scholarship winners that when you give out your next round of scholarships. Obviously, we want to keep supporting what you're doing. So feel free to let us know when you want to come back on the show. And we would love to promote your events and your golf outings and stuff like that. So,
and let me, if I could just say one other thing. Matt, I did a trivia contest, not a contest, a fundraiser for NAMI. National Alliance for Mental Illness. I did it on Thursday night, a couple nights ago, and it's such a worthwhile cause. And I mean what I said earlier about the awareness. And this is one of the reasons why we're doing the trivia contests, is that we're trying to build up awareness for it. So people, if you're watching, think about it. I don't care if it's a $5 donation. I don't care if it's donating your time, volunteering somewhere. Help with the cause, because people need help. They need awareness. They need a little bit of cash. They need so much to get the word out that there is hope, so that people like your friend Craig do not end up in the circumstances, because it happens a lot. It happens. One is one too many. And so just please be aware. If you learn nothing else from this, who cares about clam chowder in Vermont and everything else? If you learn nothing else from today's show, learn that people with mental difficulties, you can't just dismiss them and say, oh, that's Bob. There's something wrong with Bob. I don't want to talk to Bob. No, talk to Bob. Go talk to Bob at the fence in your backyard. Go walk a dog with Bob. get in Bob's heart, get in Bob's head, figure out what's going on with Bob, and make a difference. That's all I want to say about that. So,
And is there a volunteer opportunity like for your next golf outing? Do you have the need for any kind of volunteers over at DBN?
Yeah. So
do you need golfers?
we sell out our 24-somes like immediately every year. But what we do is we bring in volunteers from the organizations, because at the golf outing, we usually give $5,000 to 3 different organizations. So the 3 organizations that we give out the $5,000, so a total of $15,000, they bring out volunteers from within. So it's a great way for them to get to know us to get to know them. But what's cool, we started this last year. We have spectator passes. So anybody can come out to the golf outing that's not golfing and walk around, have a few beverages, eat lunch, watch golf. And, those are $50, which I think is a very fair price for 5 or 6 hours out on a beautiful day in July, just kind of hanging out and seeing people do well for the community. And
That's awesome.
So yeah, we collaborate with our organizations that we give to every year, and it's nice to see the volunteers come out and support us.
That's exactly where we're trying to head with our contest too. The same type of thing. Get a lot of people involved and the audience supporting what's going on and be entertained by the whole thing.
Right. And the more eyeballs you get on anything, right, is usually a positive thing. And if we can raise awareness for our cause as well as causes throughout the 815, then that's what we're trying to accomplish. And you guys are obviously doing a great job with this podcast. And again, I thank you very much for having me on. And I'm going to go lay down because my back is hurting from carrying the team.
You deserve a Kit Kat and a nap.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of chocolates hidden away. So.
Modesty is one of your better qualities, isn't it?
It is. Sometimes to a fault, what some people tell me. But you know what? At least people know where I stand. So
that's right.
Appreciate your time today, Matt. We'll be keeping in touch.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, there goes Matt, and there goes Whitney, and now we're gonna reset you in the big screen. There we go. And I think I have a logo for you, Whitney. Let's see how that looks.
Wow!
Put that one more spot so we can't block your face there too. So all right,
here. Do you want me to move over a little bit?
Just a little bit more.
Do you know what's funny, guys? What cracks me up? So this painting behind me, my condo was struck by lightning. It was like, I don't know, a year, 2 years ago. 2 lightning strikes in Rockford, and one hit my direct condo. Anyway, this fell off the wall, and when I had posted it on Facebook about the lightning strike, everybody was like, that is the ugliest artwork I've ever seen. Like, nobody cared about the lightning strike. They're like, what is that? Why was that hanging in the first place?
It's an abstract. Leave me alone.
We just had to get something to match. So
that's right.
Sawyer's kindergarten project, right?
It pretty much. I made it one day, and it shouldn't be up there.
Art
okay,
is art.
It looks like a paint by numbers. Can we get you some little paintbrushes and all that, and you just kind of
I'm just going to say that my 6-year-old did it, and it's from his schoolwork.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna be very, very basic today, Whitney. We're gonna pretend that no one in Rockford has ever met you before.
Okay.
And so we're starting from scratch. So where did Whitney Martin grow up and go to school? And a little bit of a career arc, which led you to Made for Rockford. So let's start there.
All right. So grew up in the Rolling Green neighborhood, very similar to Matt, in the rough streets of Rockton. It was the neighborhood where you could go, and I just was telling somebody, you would sell like your little wrapping paper and things, and you would be in someone's house selling, and your mom wouldn't know where you were, but it was just the time in the 90s where they call you for dinner, and then all the kids come home, and you just all the neighbors looked out for each other. So the best neighborhood I could possibly grow up in, right down the street from Rolling Green. I went there through elementary school, went to Lincoln Middle School, and then was in East ERAB. Once in ERAB, always in ERAB. So East ERAB.
Red and black forever.
Forever. Although someone just sent
red
me a
and
picture.
black, absolutely.
Yeah,
by the way, not to interrupt, I went to Lincoln as well. I hated that school. Oh God, I hated that
Sorry.
school
Why?
because 12-year-old Tommy, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever I was, had a really miserable seventh and eighth. It was seventh and eighth grade
Oh,
when I went there. It was just tough. I'm youngest
yeah,
of four. I had all my brother's hand-me-downs and everything else. And it was just a horrible, horrible experience for 2 years for me. Jefferson High
yeah.
School was a pretty good experience. That's where I went. I'm a J.
Tom was the baby of his family. I'm the oldest of two. Where do you fall in, Whitney?
I'm the middle.
You're the middle. Look at
Yes,
us. We're the perfect
we
sibling
are. This is
right
a good
here.
group right here. I'll get
Yeah.
a text
So
from my mom on.
you're the fifth of 9 kids?
Yes,
There you go.
2 sisters, right in the
sisters.
Okay.
middle.
I know your younger sister, right? But I don't think I know your older sister.
Corey. So her name is Corey. She actually teaches Zumba at
Oh, no,
every
I know
facility.
Corey.
Oh, she's my older.
Okay. Well,
Yep. So
there's a compliment
Taylor's
for
in.
Corey. I thought she was younger than you.
I don't
Wow.
know how to
No
take
offense.
that. Wow.
No offense, Whitney. I mean, geez.
You're all young.
Wow.
You're all young looking. Well, I shouldn't say all because I don't know your other sister.
Yeah.
Or maybe I do. I don't know.
She's in Houston. So part of my
Okay.
made for Rockford, which I'll get into, I got to get her back here. She's not
There you
helping
go.
the cause. So
We just found some motivation, Tom. Why she does what she does, getting the sister
Well,
from Houston to come
well,
back to
she's
Rockford.
working down there, made for Houston.
that's yeah.
Yeah. So
We're
hey,
competing.
yeah, you're competing. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, went to East High School. At the end of the year, they come to you and they say, or back then, now it's different with the career academies, which I love, but they'll come to you and say, well, what do you want to do? And you have that moment. And it was honestly senior year where I'm like, do I want to join the Air Force? I'm thinking of all these things because you have all the recruiters coming in. And I just knew I wanted to do something in radio. That was number one. And so when I got out of school, I went to a broadcasting school out of Lombard, Illinois Center for Broadcasting. The goal was radio. Ended up, though, taking an internship at a TV station instead of a radio station, and then fell in love with that. So
Cool.
just kind of quickly was an intern back in 2007, and no, 2005, and then was a photographer, a reporter, weekend anchor, main anchor, just kind of kind of go up the ladder. So,
Right.
but I remember starting and they said, "Get your feet off there. That's a desk now." And that was my corner where I got to go. Like, thanks for making space for me. But
Wow.
it was very difficult to get in at the time. After the internship, I say resume tapes because it was literally the VHS tapes, and I probably sent WIFR 10 of them. I got to the point where I was like, I want to stand. So they have the East State Street camera, and it's right, at East State and Perryville, and they would take a weather shot there. And I was at the point, and again, this is like, 2005, where I was going to stand underneath it and say, please hire me with a sign.
Oh,
So when
geez.
the meteorologist took the camera, I would be under there and saying, like, hire me, because I wasn't getting calls back. And then,
You just gave
um,
someone a really good idea, Whitney.
I know. I was thinking of everything. I was thinking of the box trick where you get a big box and then you just you keep opening little ones until you get to your resume, and just was not getting calls. So I was getting to that point. I was working in a nursing home and I did activities. So like the sitter size classes is best job. I miss it. But, I was like, I put a 2 week in, and you put a 2 week in when you're living at home, and you can put a 2 week in without having a job at the time where that's appropriate. And I said, no, I really want to, pursue something in TV, and, this is the route I want to go. And then I ended up within the 2 weeks randomly getting a call from both TV stations. WTVO had called, and then also WIFR, and I ended up being a photographer at WIFR, and then just working my
Okay.
way up. But
Okay.
that was a time where you had fire pagers that you have to sleep with next to your head. And so there were nights where if somebody was committing arson or something, I would be out with my camera gear coming back home. I mean, it was a photographer boot camp, unlike anything.
Yeah.
That
So
is so cool.
setting up the live trucks, I would have to go in the wintertime, the mast would freeze. And so I'd have to climb to the top and like knock the ice off. You earn
You get
your
that
spot.
you
I
get
will
that
say that.
de-icer spray or something to
No.
spray on there.
Be in the middle of nowhere, just like up on top of this live truck.
Oh man. I
Yeah.
have a
So
story about that.
do you?
When I was in radio here in Rockford at WQFL, we had a converted blood bank bus that we turned into a broadcast bus.
Oh my god.
And our engineer mounted the mast in the back part of the closet of the bus so it would hydraulically go up and then come back down. I did a broadcast down at Carpenter's Place, downtown Rockford. And when I was driving back to the station in Loves Park, I had brought the mast down, but apparently I didn't, you were supposed to open the hydraulic thing and leave it open so that it stayed, when it came down, it stayed
Yeah.
down. Apparently I didn't leave it open. It must have got tightened back up. So as I'm driving north on Forest Hills, the mast starts going up.
No.
And apparently it caught a power line on the way and ripped off the top of the mast. And I didn't know it. I went all the way back to the station with a busted mast. And
Oh, you're
I
the
am
reason we have those
sup-
videos, the warning videos that we have to watch. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
somebody found the mast laying on Forest Hills Road and put it in their yard and put a birdhouse on top of it. So apparently that's still, I don't know if it still exists out there or not, but that's the
wow.
story that I
Dude,
heard.
I'm
Oh
surprised you didn't
my
get
God.
electrocuted.
Right? Yeah. Well,
Oh my,
Grace of
yeah, the
God.
electrocution is, yeah. So they let you keep your job?
yeah. Yeah. Well, somebody else who shouldn't be named Jim, took the bus, and actually it's got those air conditioning units on top, and he went underneath a thing that was too low and smashed one of those air conditioning units to pieces. So he was my boss. So
Oh my, they're hard. There's no back window. I mean, I'll tell you now, I'm
right.
far removed from it. Where I was at a school board meeting, and I backed it up on top of a car at a school board meeting, the whole live truck. So I mean, it's, I could say it now because a long time ago, but it's
Yeah,
hard to
wow.
drive those things. I should not
It's
have been in that
yeah.
position.
Mhm.
Beep,
Don't
beep,
don't
beep,
don't
I'm
forget your
moving.
other place, Whitney. You worked here as well. Oh,
I
geez.
did. Yep. So then, yeah, it was not. So I actually I was at WIFR for 10 years. Worked my way up to main anchor with Mike Garrigan, who's one of my favorite people in this world. Let me just tell
Good
you,
guy,
like,
very good
the
guy.
best. And you know what? I was like, why is he the best? And he introduces people, and this is where I started to kind of notice where he won't say like, oh, this is Megan. He'll say, oh, this is Megan. She's the best editor that we have at our station. He introduces people by their best traits, and it's like,
Mm.
but he means everything he says. And I can tell you, in the 10 years that I worked with him, he encouraged me the entire time. And like, you don't always see that in this industry. You guys
I'm
know
so
that.
glad he stayed in Rockford.
Me
I'm so
too.
glad. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause he
So
could have gone
just
somewhere else. So kudos to Mike.
great.
We
That
had him on our
great
sports
crew.
show. We had him on our sports show many times, and I mean, I thought I knew a lot about sports. Mike
Oh
is
yeah.
if I'm a 10 on sports, he's about a 55 on sports. I
The
don't
way
even know
he
if the
can
math works out there, but he just knows everything.
he retains everything, and he just has a gift for that. But I can go on and on about him. So leaving there was really hard because of Mark and Mike. They're great people, and I had the best experience at WIFR. Just kind of grew up there, and then was time for something else, and there was an opening in Milwaukee at the CBS station. It was a morning show spot, and Mike Kirkhoff, who was a sports anchor, as you know, it's small world in media, was the morning anchor there, and so I ended up taking a job there for mornings, and then commuted for so I was there about 2.5 years. The last year and a half I was commuting, so 3 hours in the
Long,
car,
it's a long drive.
1:30 in the morning, over on 43. So
Mm.
Wow,
rough
Yeah.
lonely
ride.
though. A nice drive, but
Smooth
1:30 in the
ride.
morning.
Yes. Yeah, it was. I mean, I didn't pass a car, I think, the entire time at 1:30 in the morning, but had my son, and then, wanted to come back. Right now I'm 4 doors down from my parents, and as you know, when you have kids, you need to be around family, and I
Yep.
really did feel like I was driving. It wasn't fair to viewers in Milwaukee because my community is here. So I
Mhm.
was driving in, anchoring the news toward the end, and then coming back to a community that wasn't within Wisconsin. It just didn't feel right, like this is my community.
Yeah.
So then came back and then took an assistant news director, morning anchor job, with, of course, WTVO, which is ABC Fox affiliate. And those hours are rough. Couldn't do
Mhm.
it anymore. So they're
Yeah.
2 a.m., when you have a 6-year-old, just wasn't working toward the end. I laugh when people ask like, "Why'd you leave?" I'm like, it was killing me toward the end, and
Hmm. Yeah.
I think people regret when they ask me that because I start going on and on. Loved the job. Was taking a toll on me though. I could feel the lack of sleep. I mean, you guys know with any morning show, it
Oh yeah.
impacts you.
For a number
Mhm.
of years, I did the morning show at ROK. I was a producer, and getting up at 3:15, out the door by
Hmm.
3:45, And in there, not far from the station, started carting up stuff. And some of these, and you know this as well, all of us know this, all of these news agencies that were supposed to send us morning show stuff. Like we
Yes.
had Rush Limbaugh, the 60-second Rush Limbaugh blurb, the Sean Hannity blurb. They wouldn't come.
Mhm.
I'm like, come on, it's 4:35.
Yes.
I still gotta get the news together and splice in the weather and the sports. And oh, I hated that.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
it
hated
is
that.
stressful. And we're
It
same
can
thing.
be.
Like we would wait for stuff from the affiliates, or I'd be on the other end trying to get the radio station stuff when are under the gun and the last thing I got to the point where I'm like, it's 3 in the morning and I'm gluing eyelashes on and I'm like, this isn't this, the news side of it, the journalism side of it, my heart will always be there. But I just, it was just time. Like it didn't feel right anymore. And so I was looking at other positions. Some were outside the community. And it's hard when you've been in something for 20 years and you think, what am I going to do next? Especially when you've enjoyed your time. I've always liked my jobs, even nursing home, whatever it was. So I wanted to take something that was going to love.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at stuff outside the area just because that was naturally what I was seeing. And I thought, I'm like, maybe I want to do something with marketing. That's usually where we go after news, That's where we all end up.
Right.
Or maybe sales. But if I'm going to sell something, like what would I want to sell? And it's the city. I always joke about this, but I worked at Lone Star for a week. And the one thing that they taught me was that if you don't like something on the menu and you try to sell it at a table, they're going to see it on your face. So you have to
Uh-huh.
believe in what you're selling.
Mhm.
So, and I'm going on. Just please interrupt me anytime. But
No, this is very good. This is very good.
okay,
This is
I'm
what
like,
we're after.
it's
This is
the
what we're
Celsius
after.
clicking in here too. So I reached out to John with Go Rockford, the CEO, John Grow. And we had a working relationship, and I always kind of had watched what Go Rockford had done as we covered it. And so there was nothing, no job openings or anything like that. But I thought, well, maybe you could point me in the right direction. And so we had lunch, and I kind of described what I was looking for. And he said, we actually have this program that we've been working on. It's called Made for Rockford. And so what Made for Rockford was, before I came there, um, it was basically they had talked to all of these recruiters who said,
What?
we want to be able to sell Rockford to these applicants coming in, right? So if you do a Google search, maybe you're going to do that search on your own and you're going to find news stories that pop up, but it's not a true reflection of what our community has to offer. And so I am kind of that intervention between the Google search where I can kind of intervene and tell people about all the wonderful things that we have here. So the Made for Rockford program, what you're seeing right there is the website. There's actually a cost of living calculator on there. And so if you have a job applicant who comes or anybody who's looking at our city, they can go on there, they can compare the cost of living, which is really our selling point here, right? We're 24.7% lower than the national
Mhm.
average. And you can see that in the milk prices, gas prices, all on the website.
This is great.
Um,
This is
so
such.
another thing, no, it's an amazing tool. Another thing that I do is I work with recruiters at our major employers, and I'll give tours of Rockford. So I had a physician that came during the holidays, and she said, "Hey, I'm in Rockford. I'm looking at a job here. Someone told me to call you." She goes, "If you're busy, it's fine." She said, "I'll just look on Google and I'll just kind of explore on my own." I said, "What hotel are you at? I'm coming right now." you know. So I went to the hotel, I picked her up, gave her a tour of Rockford, showed her the neighborhoods. Everybody's in a different situation, so that we have something to offer for everybody. So you can show them every neighborhood or what would fit within what they need. But I'll customize the tours. So if they have kids who are in sports, I can then show them sports teams here and show them what that transition would look like. We do mixers. So we just had a mixer at Embassy Suites with 60 people from the area who are brand new, and they're all connecting at the end of the night. They're exchanging phone numbers, and that to me is a tangible way to see the program working because they came from everywhere. Some saw it at a U-Haul place where I dropped a flyer. Some are seeing it at coffee shops or through the health systems that will send them out. And so the need for connection is here. And so I'm trying to bring people together so they're not just clocking in every day, that they're able to enjoy the community. Because we have so many things to offer. Like think about when somebody says they're new here, the excitement in your voice, right? When they ask for recommendations. It's kind of
Mhm.
that's my 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And this website, this website is really something special to share with people that maybe have moved away and have been gone for 10 or 15 or 20 years. And they're like, yeah, because unless you have family here, you might
Mhm.
not think of coming back here. Right. That's the boomerang thing that's on this
Yeah.
website and such. But there are those who don't have family here that have like, you know what? Rockford really was a great place to live. And here's all the reasons why. It's on the website.
Well, it's so funny. I laugh because I'm like, am I wearing like a button or something that says new here? Because or new here, come talk to me. Yesterday I was at Disco Chicken and I was sitting I was having lunch and I brought my laptop down. I was like, I'm gonna work from here for a little bit. And this couple sits next to me and the man looked over and he goes, have you been here before? I said, too often. And he said, we're new here. We just moved here and sits directly there. And I said, oh, so we ended up, I mean, truthfully, you kind of share booths there. We just
Yeah.
all kind of sat and had lunch together. And I was able to, show them all the cool things that we have. I was at Chipotle. I mean, I go out a lot, but I was at Chipotle. Don't look at my, bank account. But like a months ago, and there was a lady who came up to me and she said, I'm just like getting a drink. And she goes, I like your nails. And I said, thank you. She said, I'm new here. I just moved here. So I feel like the connections that are being made, I mean, it really is just people that you're seeing out. Those are most of them. And they want that connection or they wouldn't be coming up or they would.
It's
So,
all over your
yeah. So,
face, Whitney. It's just all over your face that says,
yeah.
talk to me if you're new here.
Come talk to me. So I laugh, when I had those interactions. Another thing that I'm creating right now is a portal system. So that's for recruiters to go in. They can get new pictures, videos of Rockford, facts about the schools, where they'll have a login and they get right in there. And it's exciting. I'm building these collections of photos right now. And when you look at all of it, we live in an amazing place. And I
Yeah.
feel like everything that, all of these photos that are in these categories. It's just like family fun or live music. We live in an amazing place, and it's a very easy sell for me.
Yeah. Yeah. There is so much to choose from here to do, to experience and enjoy. It's just, and like this slide up here that talks about um, where we are
Yes,
so Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison, anything that we might not have on a given weekend, it's in one of the cities that's an easy drive.
it
It's,
is. I just posted on LinkedIn. I got a bunch of eye rolls. They said, "Oh, this is so cringe" for a couple of my friends. I mean this though. I went to a Justin Timberlake concert in Milwaukee last weekend, right? And it was $150 for the tickets. We had great seats, ended up going. And then you get in your car, you drive right back to our community that night, an easy drive, like we say on 43. And you have all of these things. We could not be in a better location. Same with air travel. You know what I mean? We've got O'Hare, we've got Milwaukee, we've got the Rockford Airport. So that couple that I told you about, they have no ties to Rockford, who I met yesterday. They randomly wanted cheaper housing. They have a beautiful home. And they said they felt like they were taking a risk by coming here because they
I'm
were
playing with
kind
the
of doing
screen.
the,
I'm sorry.
oh, you're fine. I'm like looking, I'm like,
I'm
Yeah,
trying to find the
she's
best.
she's getting her exercise this morning.
super flattering.
This is
um,
a restream test. This is a restream test. What's going to look good?
Hey,
There we go.
Greg, can you get my good side?
I'm like, oh, remember these days.
Once you figure out your good side, let me know, Tom.
Oh, hey,
Oh, it's
thank you.
taken
I'm
me
here all
20
week.
years. Still don't have one. Um, but yeah, they had no connection to Rockford and they felt like they were taking a risk by the Google searches when they came here. And now that they're here, they love every bit of it. They're, near the city market on Fridays. Their home is just gorgeous. I mean, it's beautiful. And so they felt like they were taking a risk and now that they're here, they're happy that they're here. And those are the success stories and we want to see more of them.
You
It's
know,
also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
well, you're kind of inspiring me because you are exactly correct. And I've thought about a lot of these things too, but sometimes we get in our own little shell or our own little world. We
Yeah.
don't think about all those different things we can do. For crying out loud, you don't have to drive here, there, and everywhere else to enjoy
Yeah.
stuff because we do have it here. I mean, my goodness, you can only fill so much in your basket anyway. So, I mean, yeah, okay, if you want baseball, you can go watch the Rockford Rivets.
Yeah.
You want hockey, you can go see the Ice Hogs. Now, if you want football, well, you'd have to go to Green Bay because Illinois doesn't have a football team, but,
Right.
whatever.
Pretty much.
Hey, hey. Anyway, but it is truly all right here. I mean, we do have we're an aggregate of 250,000 people when you take all of
Yeah,
Winnebago
Winnebago
County.
County. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a
and
big.
one thing I'm learning, and especially as I'm meeting new people, like I said, the new people at the mixers, when the new people coming in they appreciate the community so much, and they everything we have to offer. I need to figure out a way, and maybe us as a community, not really on me. It's the Rockford haters, the people who have been here for so long, that we want to make sure aren't hating on our community, because I feel like that I'm combating that more than anything, because the people who are new,
Yeah.
who are coming here, love everything they're seeing. It's the people who've been here for a long time, where we need to shift that mindset, because it's almost like having a toxic person inside a workplace, right? That affects the community when you have that one person who's speaking negatively. We have our challenges. I can tell you again, decades in news, and I will never deny that. But I also feel like we're at a point where the challenges that we have, there's somebody coming in trying to find solutions for all of them. These aren't
Yeah.
problems that are just sitting here. So it's easy to talk about them and to see the hope or the light.
I go back to the conversation that we had with Matt earlier in this podcast, because we were talking about social media and just the number of things that get thrown at you, and the comparisons and all this stuff. And that's where we have to teach ourselves and our kids and our significant others and such. There are so many voices on social media.
Hmm.
If you choose, you're going to choose what you focus on. And
Yes.
if you focus on the negative comments, you're going to see them everywhere. It's the same thing when you buy a new car. I didn't realize how many Jeep Renegades there are till I bought my wife a Jeep Renegade. They're everywhere. Okay. And
Yeah.
now when we travel anywhere, we see Jeep Renegades all over Rockford, and we
Yes.
never saw them before.
Right.
It's the same way with our social media stuff. If you're seeking out the positive, that's there too. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna encourage everyone within the sound of my voice. Please follow our In Crowd 815 social media on
Mhm.
Instagram and Facebook and such. I make it a very, very strong goal every day to post positive things, uplifting things, not just about Rockford, but about life, so that people are saying, "Oh yeah, okay, it might be a little tough today, but you know what? Tomorrow's going to be better, and I got to do something today that my future self is going to thank me for doing." So,
Yeah.
focus on those positive things, and if you really uh, if you really want to engage with the negative people, nobody can stop you. But I'm going to tell you, it's not worth your time. Probably 90% of the time.
Yes, there's always going to be the negative people. One thing that just to note on the positive side of it too is that there's a marketing strategy as well that comes with Made for Rockford, where it is
Mhm.
amplifying positive stories to the national level. And so that is something that we're working on right now, is working with different marketing companies to promote Rockford at that national level. So the positive stories, like the hottest housing market that we were just named, hits CNN, hits Fox News,
Mhm.
because there are good things that are happening here. One thing that we did too, and you may have seen some of the billboards that were out. So if people came to the area during the holidays, we had billboards up saying like, "Hey, you don't have to leave. You can unpack for the last time. You don't have to go. You don't have to say bye to your grandma." So we
Yeah.
had kind of strategic marketing, and then they may have seen those ads on their cell phone, and they might still be seeing those ads. Just kind of encouraging them to come back. We want that. Matt's sister lives in Elgin. I heard that right away. We need her to come back too. So
Come on back, not just for a
yes,
visit.
yeah.
This is a
You're
great
looking
place
at
to live.
pictures of the mixer too. That was at Embassy Suites just a week ago.
Yeah, this was such a fun thing and such a great idea. And like I said, anytime you step out of and say and do stuff, you're always going to have the detractors and the haters and the people that just they
Yes,
just want to make noise. They just want to hear themselves talk. Just let them people alone. Let them
I know.
alone, and say a little prayer for them. Hopefully they'll come around and say, okay, because who is it and why is it that somebody wants to spend their time and effort to bring other people down? Why?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Why? So
yeah.
yeah, focus on these positive things. Like, look at
And
this.
and
Yeah.
there's so many positive things. Like, I say Food Truck Tuesday. That's like just being out on the bike path, really like using our river to do things during the week. There's just like a million things here where part of my job, and it really was my job too when I worked for the news, is to again amplify the good news. I mean, all the news at that time, but the Go Rockford website. We have people who work on that every single day to make sure that events are that you know about, and Paleo Fest happening, this weekend. Lee Bryce was at Coronado. Who do we just have at
Jerry Seinfeld
Hard
was just
Rock?
here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Seinfeld was here. So it's, we have so many things going on that part of my job is, like you say, you have to know about them to enjoy them. And so I'm trying to do that with the new people, but I think I still need to do that with the people who already live here and have been here for
Exactly.
decades.
Exactly. So there's a lot of opportunities to plug into. Made for Rockford. If you're looking for a resource to share with friends and family that don't yet live here, and they would enjoy living here, I always tell the story, Whitney, about when my wife and I were both in a position where we were thinking about making moves,
Yes.
and we did a cost of living analysis. We looked around. We had opportunities. There were three main opportunities. All right. One was in Virginia, one was in Southern California, and the other one was in Nome, Alaska. Guess where the cost of living is way, way better than those other three places I just mentioned. We would have had to make well over twice as much money living in any of those other places
Mm-hmm.
than we were experiencing our lifestyle here. And, ultimately we're so glad we stayed, mainly because, not just the cost of living, but because of family connections and everything else. But we really gave it some serious consideration.
But all of your connections, and you have to, no matter where you are, you have to make it a home. And you guys are involved in so much. You're amplifying nonprofits, the Ski Bronx. I mean, it's you and your whole family. You know what I mean? So it's making wherever you land home. And if you're just clocking
Right.
in and clocking out, you're not going to want to stay here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, is there another mixer in the works?
Yes.
What's next for Made for Rockford?
All right, next mixer's July. It's at Anderson Gardens. It's going to be on one of the Tuesday nights where they have music. So it's great. And that is something I will say. There's one person in my department, right? It's just me, but it is a whole village to get people to come here. And that is my favorite part. So Anderson is, giving us the space to come in and do this. We also, if I give a tour, right, I'll call Coronado, and somebody will be at the door to greet these applicants, show them, and every single person who I encounter is excited to show somebody new what they have in their facility. Or Discovery Center, Meredith is just the joy on her face when she's showing people stuff. So lots of stuff like that. Please go to the Made for Rockford Facebook page and you can see all the events. And if you are, living here right now, help me welcome these people as they're coming in. There'll be lots of opportunities for that.
Well, we would love to partner with you in any way, shape, or form that you see fit.
Thank you.
Some of our things that are coming up here soon for In Crowd 815, our April networking group is going to meet at Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum.
Oh, okay.
How many people in Rockford have never been to our founding house of Rockford? Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum is something special. The last Thursday of April, we're going to be there for our In Crowd 815 networking group. And our networking group, honestly, it's a totally free thing. The price of admission is a business card and a smile. That's what
Love it.
Business
Yeah.
card.
All right, Greg, I'll make you a promise. I will be there, provided I don't have a trivia event. I will be there.
I know you. And then we're also setting up a special tour of the new Rockford Public Library. So we're going to be doing a special tour of that, and it's not in stone yet, but I think it's in May. We'll be promoting that and tagging everybody on that on the social media when we get that going together. But
awesome.
Most people in Rockford know that the new library was built, and they know that there's a new building and it's bright and shiny and new and beautiful there. But what a lot of people don't know is just the number of resources that are in there besides the books.
Oh, there's a podcast room.
There's a podcast room. There's a banquet room. There's a place to do yoga and Pilates and these multi-tiered patio things. It's really going to be something special. So we want to make sure our quote unquote members know about it. And so, everyone will be invited to that too when we make that open. So, this is what it's all about, Whitney. This is,
thank you guys for having me.
Of Rockford. Now you're a one-woman show right now. So, and is there an opportunity for anyone to plug into what you're doing and be any like volunteer help that you might need to help put on more events and such?
Yes, I didn't mention our Go team. So we have a Go team
Go
of
team.
40 people, a little bit more than that. So when people are new to the community, I could look at it and say, oh, Greg's into ski broncs and someone's into skiing. I could pair that new person with a member of the Go team. It's that first friend in Rockford. And so I have just a host of people who I'm able to do that with. They come to events, they help. So if someone's interested in that, please let me know. You really, there's a fit for anybody. So please let me know.
There
There's the
it
Go
is.
team right there. They also have their bios and stuff. It's on the right side if you click. But
All right.
they it'll be hard to find right now, but I can get you a link. But yeah, great team. These are people who love Rockford, who know Rockford. You see Mike Garrigan up there. Not the best picture of him. I apologize, Mike.
Well, it was an action shot, so
Couldn't get everybody to look.
it's forgivable. It's forgiven when it's an action shot.
Yes, yeah. So,
That's awesome.
but lots of different opportunities. Easy to find. You can message me, of course, on the Facebook page or on anywhere on Facebook, or get you my email too.
Awesome. All right. Well, we've definitely kept you way longer than we were
No, I
anticipating.
appreciate it. I'm sure my son's room is a disaster right now. You guys don't know this. He was down here with a Nerf gun about 20 minutes ago.
And he didn't hit you?
Yeah, no bullets were in there. So
No,
thank
but
God, because it did
All
go
right.
off.
you got lucky.
He's
All
probably
right.
on his sugar. He's probably in a sugar coma right now.
Guys, it's in a Home Alone house over here right now.
Well, you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll be obviously you're going to be one of our celebrity judges for our
Yes.
April 17th event. Thank you for
Thank you,
volunteering
guys.
to do that. And we'll if you have any more hot leads to organizations that want to participate, as of today, there are 6 openings. 3 of them are spoken for but not paid for yet. So until they're paid for, they're not
Come here,
locked
Soy.
in. So
Yeah. Awesome. Sorry, I can hear him calling me right now.
Okay.
I will definitely spread the word. It was an amazing event, and thank you for having me back. Come here, Sawyer. Well, Sawyer would like to say goodbye here as well. You could say bye.
Sawyer, buddy,
Don't be camera shy. Come on.
Oh,
are you
you
still
said
racing bikes?
Greg
So
will
you still
send you
racing
a
bikes?
Kit Kat
Yeah.
if you're good.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having both of us. You just didn't know how much of a role he played in this today.
Are you
So,
still racing bikes, Sawyer?
Yeah.
BMX? You see, he's a BMX dude, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I got
All
my
right, I'm gonna go
youngest. I got my youngest too. So
Yes.
yeah.
You guys,
All
thank
right.
you for
He's
having
got
me. I better
wings.
go be a mom here. So.
All right. Thank you.
All
Talk to you
right,
later.
thanks, guys. Bye.
So what
Wow.
did I say at the very, very
Sorry,
beginning?
Matt. What did you say at the beginning? I don't know.
What was that? That was crazy.
I don't know why
What
that
did
went
I
on.
say
It
at
wasn't supposed to.
Okay. What did I say at the very, very beginning? I said this is going to be a good show today.
It's
Was that right or what?
Our big number of the week this week is 3.6 billion, and the answer is feline or factory. And you have run out of time to put your guess in the chat because we're going to tell you that right now. Have you heard that Purina is hiring?
No, have not.
Purina is hiring for an extremely important leadership position. This leadership position is the chief snuggle officer. They need a CSO.
Oh.
Unfortunately, neither one of us are in the running because the pet care brand will be choosing an adorable puppy or cat for the gig. And that gig pays how much, Tom?
I'm hoping it does not pay 3.6 million.
$25,000. No, 3.6 billion is the Cheesecake Factory's record-breaking revenue for 2024. The Cheesecake Factory.
I own half of that, as a matter of fact. I think.
The company's eponymous brand, EPONYMOUS.
Yeah, I'm not. I know the word eponymous. I think
Eponymous.
Sure.
It's a big word.
Eponymous.
It of course it's known for its novel length menus. I don't like the menus; they're too many things, but it's amazing. 75% of their total sales are their brand. $2.7 billion in revenue from the brand. In quarter 4 alone last year, the Cheesecake Factory posted $921 million in revenue. net income of $41 million. That's up from $12.7 million last year. And the company's stock has grown 60% in the last 12 months. Where was the stock tip on the Cheesecake Factory last year? I completely missed that one.
That's because you didn't talk to Nancy about it.
Who's Nancy?
Pelosi.
Oh, but hey, did you know you can track her stocks? There's an app for that.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that. And which is the most ridiculous thing in the world. And I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I'm not making a statement here for, Republican or Democrat, but how is it that Congress, because anybody in Congress can do it, they're immune for insider trading?
I know.
But what
And while we're
got me
saying
is
that,
that what got me is she said, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Nancy. You got $247 million. Yes, you do know what we're talking about. So
yeah,
I don't care who you are. You don't have the right to do that kind of stuff. So.
No, you
Anyway,
don't.
That's all. I'm saying.
All right. Well, I think that covers everything this week. It is March 1st, and 2 weeks from tonight is Tinker Ball at Memorial Hall. So you still have time to get your tickets. They're only $15. Come and join us for a really fun night at Memorial Hall. It's a Civil War themed evening ball with Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum at the lovely Veterans Memorial Hall downtown, kitty corner from the Coronado Theater. A night of elegance and history, transport back to the Civil War era. Formal or themed attire is strongly recommended for this occasion. It's at 6 p.m. on the evening of March 15th. They're going to have refreshments provided by the Sons of Union Veterans and Mary Logan Tent Auxiliary. They're going to have special dance callers. If you don't dance, that's okay. You can just watch the dancers and see what Gary and Karen do as far as dance calling. Their organization is called the Historical Timekeepers, and Veterans Memorial Hall is a place to. It's an event in itself because it's such a special place. So March 15th, come join us for that if you are available. Tickets available on Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum's website. Any other shout out to Serene and her crew at Tadmore Tailoring. We had such a great time for the In Crowd 815 event this last Thursday night. She held a great event. She had some great catering, bring in some hors d'oeuvres, and talked about what she's doing at Tadmore, her Sustainability Institute, and UW Swedish American Health Foundation was also represented and talked about what they do here in the Rockford area. So,
all right. Well, when you go ahead and finish that, I have a shout out too as well.
Go for it.
All right. So the other day, and I mentioned this earlier, we had our NAMI trivia. It was the second installment of our 3. We did one this year on Leap Year Day, February 29th, with a frog theme. You were there. And then we did one in January, one in February, just this past Thursday. And we're going to do another one March. I want to say it's the 27th, whatever that.
The last Thursday in March. And that's one of the reasons why we're not having an In Crowd 815 event that night. We're supporting that event by asking all of our folks to form a team and go play trivia that night at Park Lane.
Exactly. Danielle and I were talking. It's going to be spring themed. It's spring into spring. All right. It'll be bright. It'll be cheery. It'll be yellowy, green, blue, all of the spring colors, all the beautiful colors. And there'll be questions relating to springtime and such. So it is for NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness. I told Danielle I would speak about it for a little bit, a minute or so. She's not going to be coming on the air for it because she said, well, it's not necessary in terms of trying to get teams because we have a lot of teams and we've still got another month to add a team or 2. It's somewhat limited. We're trying to limit it to about 10 or 12 teams. We don't want 16, 18 teams because you were there the first time. We had a lot of teams. I think we had 13.
It was really crowded.
It was very crowded, maybe too crowded. And she took note of that. And so she limited it to 6 players per team. So it means you're going to spend a little bit more. You're going to spend about $20 per person for the fundraiser, but it's such a worthwhile cost. Forget the money. Anybody has $20. You know what? I went to an establishment the other day and it's a fast food restaurant. I spent $18 just for me. And I did not order like 4 cheeseburgers and 6 fries and 3 Cokes and whatever. I just ordered your standard meal with maybe 1 extra, whatever it was. $18. So $20 is for a worthwhile cause like this is so very
Oh yeah.
doable for just about anybody. So I'm saying put it in your memory bank for March 27th. Get a hold of Danielle Angelari from NAMI by email or by a phone with the office or whatever, and say, you know what, I'd like more information about it, or I'd like to sign up or whatever, and let's keep this thing rolling. So that's all I wanted to say. And it was a really good event. Danielle put her heart and soul into it. I got there and she'd already had the tables decorated. All I had to do was the trivia. So it was fun.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Well, we want to encourage our members, if you still have time, it sounds like you still have time to get a team or two into this event. So if you want to participate last Thursday of March, that's what In Crowd 815 is doing for the month of March. April's a big month with the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest happening on April 17th. And then the last Thursday of April, we're at Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum. So there's a couple big things to do in April. And if you're not for profit or your business wants to support a not for profit, there is still time to get in on our April 17th big contest. And it's a lot of fun. It's even if some people are very competitive, they enter these things because they want to win. Other people see this as just a way to go out and have their staff, employees, volunteers, whatever, just have a fun night together and enjoy time together, and have some conversations. The ideas that come out of this, the collaboration that come out of an event like this, that's what brings me the most joy. I mean, don't get me wrong, handing a big check to a winning team gives me joy too, but that's just one part of what this event does. That is the reason why we put these things on. So looking forward to having everybody out there on April 17th at Hilton Garden Inn in Rockford. I'm sure I'm forgetting something else, but it was a long show, so we probably should go, huh, buddy?
Oh, all right. We'll talk Packer football some other time.
There's little, I mean, as far as Packer football goes, the draft is coming up April 25th, I think.
And where is it taking place?
Little place called Lambeau Field in historic Green Bay, Wisconsin. Oh, it's gonna be.
I was really hoping it'd be Green Bay and Buffalo this year in the Super Bowl, because it's two smallest markets in all of sports. Two smallest markets. That would have been so awesome, and I think that would have gotten as much viewership as any Super Bowl, just because of the history of both of these organizations. Not as much Buffalo, but because they went 4 in a row and lost 4 in a row and all of that. But better luck next time, right?
Well, it's gonna be Green Bay. Here, I'm gonna see if I can put this on the screen. It's here is the Super Bowl in 2026. It'll be Green Bay versus San Diego, or the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, I'm good with that.
Super Bowl 60. Book it now.
I'm good with that.
There was a video that was one of those rotating videos. It spun real fast, and it told you to hit the button. It took me a little while, but I got it to stop on Green Bay. And the other team that came up was the Chargers. So here we go. Harbaugh versus LaFleur. The Chargers versus Green Bay. All right.
I like it.
Next week. You know what?
Nope. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, next week, Josh Garcia is going to join us on the show. You'll never guess what his not-for-profit is, Tom. Not in a million years. I wouldn't guess it either. It is sports related.
Okay.
It is golf related, but not with golf balls.
Frisbee golf.
There you go. The State Line Disc Golf Association. He runs that, and it's a not-for-profit. We're going to learn all about that next week with Josh Garcia here on the podcast. So
my son-in-law does that.
I want to do that more. It looks fun.
Disc golf. I can't throw a Frisbee to save my soul.
There's so many different ways.
I'll throw it and it'll go, and it'll end up in a parking lot, hit some guy's car. I got to run.
They got a disc golf course all throughout Rockford University.
Do they?
They do. And there's one also in Shorewood Park where the ski broncs ski. There's
also one in Page Park, and that's where Larry, my son-in-law, plays.
There we go. Yep. All right. Any final parting thoughts, buddy?
No, not for me. Great show today. Thank you, Whitney. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Greg.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
Tom. We miss Joanne. Joanne, wherever you are, we miss you.
We miss you. Yeah. Thanks again, Matt and Whitney, for joining us. Remember, you change the world when you help one person. So be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here next week for another In Crowd 815 podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
815 in crowd. 815.